What if Darth Maul joined forces with Asajj Ventress? Let's explore the depths of this scenario in the video. Ventress stands on the deck of the First Light, the personal transport of Dryden Vos, the ruler of the Crimson Dawn. She heard rumors that he was hiring a large force of mercenaries, but she didn't expect this. There had to be a small army of bounty hunters, brigands, and mercenaries aboard this ship. Most of them are chatting or drinking with each other as serving droids move between them, carrying trays of fine wines and luxurious foods. The crime boss himself stands atop a platform and spreads his hands out to greet them.
Greetings, friends. I hope you're enjoying this little party. There'll be plenty more of these depending on how well this meeting goes.
The mercenaries all stop what they're doing to look at the Crimson Dawn leader.
Now, on to business. I have a job for you all. Probably one of the biggest heists the galaxy has ever seen. Stealing an entire planet.
The whole room fills with gasps. A few laugh, and others lean in closer to hear what he's saying. Among them is Ventress, who feels a faint smile across her lips.
Of course, to pull something like that off, I'm going to need fighters. Many more than we have here. As we speak, we are approaching my headquarters, where the rest of the army is assembling. There we will figure out who is up for this mission, and who isn't. Anyone who isn't interested, step forward now, and I'll let you out.
A few mercenaries look at each other, then some begin to step forward.
Don't have a risk appetite, is it? I understand. Guards, throw them out.
His security droids begin grabbing the mercenaries who refused and leading them away. When some resist, the Crimson Dawn leader's eyes begin to flash.
A bonus for anyone who helps deal with this riffraff.
Those who remain grin and draw their weapons. The first among them is Ventress, who disarms the few dissidents with her lightsabers, allowing the droids to lead them to the airlock. By the time they are finished, Dryden watches her and smiles. Soon, the ship lands on Maul's fortress on Dathomir, much to Ventress's surprise. She recognizes the old Night Sister hideout and looks around for any signs of them, or Mother Talzin. For a moment, she believes that they might still be alive and are leading this operation. But as she searches, all she finds are more criminals and bounty hunters. That is until Dryden and some guards approach her.
Excuse me, Ventress, is it?
Yeah, what do you want?
Well, I have informed my master about you, and he would like to request a private audience with you.
That depends on what you told him.
That you take the invitation and have the skills to back it up. A rare combination in my experience.
In that case, I'd be glad to meet them.
She lets the crime boss lead her down the familiar cave system, feigning ignorance as she looks around and searches for any signs of her sisters. Unfortunately, she finds nothing until a figure appears from the shadows. Ventress's eyes widen as she comes face to face with Darth Maul. The Sith Lord flashes a wicked smile as he regards her.
Ah, Ventress. Ah, good. You already know each other. Master, this is the bounty hunter I was telling you about. Yes. Now, finish the preparations for my invasion.
Dryden nods and marches off, leaving the two to stare at each other.
I see you are doing well for yourself. That is good, because I need your talents.
And what makes you think I'd be interested in helping you?
Because I plan to liberate Mandalore and create a new world for our people. To honor Mother Talzin's legacy.
Mandalore? You expect me to believe you care about the Mandalorians?
The planet can sustain us. Its warrior culture will strengthen the Night Brothers and Sisters. Look around you. There is nothing left for our people on Dathomir. On Mandalore, we can thrive.
You must be truly desperate if you're asking for my help. What's the real catch, Maul?
The Empire. They're oppressing Mandalore just as the Separatists did to Dathomir. Tell me, is that something you can allow to happen again?
I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy. But neither would I shame myself by working with you.
Shame? I'm willing to forgive our past quarrels, end your treatment of Savage by recruiting you and paying you handsomely. This is bigger than us, sister. This can allow our people to emerge stronger.
So what will you have me do?
You will act as my captain, Ventress. You shall lead my forces in this invasion, and together we can ensure the survival of Mandalore and our people.
Fine. I'll do it. But know this. I'm doing this for the Night Sisters. Not for you.
As long as the job gets done, your reasons are your own. Welcome aboard, Captain Ventress. We depart for Mandalore in a week.
The rest of their time is spent gathering the remaining troops, weeding the weaklings, and making plans for the invasion. Ventress gets acquainted with her new army, training and disciplining them until they are a force to be reckoned with. When the day of the invasion comes, Maul announces their first task. Instead of attacking the Imperial forces right away, they will unite the Mandalorian clans who distrust the Empire. After sending scouts ahead, they learn that there is an active resistance movement. This resistance is headed by clans Ren and Kryz, and Bo-Katan and Sabine are organizing a rebellion. This presents the perfect opportunity for Maul to gather allies and take over. As the Resistance members are planning their next move, they reveal the Empire's new weapon, the Arc Pulse Generator, or Duchess, which wiped out a column of Mandalorians. The defeat is made even worse as they learn it was designed by Sabine Wren, which has caused some Mandalorians to distrust her. As they plan what to do, blaster fire echoes from the camp. Ezra, Sabine, Bo-Katan, and Kanan jump to their feet and hurry out of the tent. There they see the mercenaries storming the cave. At the head is Ventress, who shoves the guards aside and ignites her lightsaber. Maul is by her side, and the two hack apart the guards too slow to take flight. Those who do manage to get airborne are swiftly cut down by their troopers.
Secure the perimeter. Leave no one standing.
His mercenaries disperse to capture the camp, but Maul and Ventress both march in a straight line, heading towards the center where the command tent is. Any guard who tries to stop them is cut down. But when Bo-Katan and Sabine see them, the two suddenly stop, allowing the guards to surround them.
You.
Lieutenant, I thank you for organizing this movement for the true ruler of Mandalore.
You are no Mandalorian or ruler of this world.
And you think you are? Or perhaps this traitor?
We serve Mandalore.
And what a great service you've done, child. You provided its conquerors with the very weapon to secure their control over this world. And what of you, Kryz? I suppose it takes one traitor to know another. Do you think anyone has forgotten who brought the Republic forces here to begin with?
The guards around them all look to one another. Their resolve wavers for a moment as they hear Maul's words.
I did that to ensure you would never rule my people.
And what did I do to win such ire? All I did was slay Pre Vizsla honorably, fairly. But you allow your hatred to blind you and divide our people. Now I offer you the same challenge I offered Vizsla. A duel to see who will rule this world.
You'll rule this world over my dead body.
That is the plan.
Maul and Bo-Katan circle each other until the Night Brother makes the first move, coming forward in a quick series of strikes. Bo-Katan parries with her vibroblades before trying to step back. Maul spins his lightsaber in an overhead arc, forcing her to leap back. She picks up her blaster and begins to fire while activating her jetpack. She leaps behind him and scores a kick to his back, but this fails to knock Maul down. Instead, he turns and blocks her knife thrust and shoves her back with the Force. Bo fires her blaster, but none of her shots land. She runs forward with her knife ready, throwing quick thrusts at Maul's midsection, but he spins aside and delivers a sweeping kick. As she rolls on her back, Bo-Katan barely dodges a strike from Maul. She twists her wrist, locking Maul's lightsaber in place, and delivers a headbutt. She throws a few more punches and manages to regain her footing as Maul tumbles back. but as she prepares to deliver her next attack, Maul throws a vicious slash across her armor and sends her stumbling backward. Bo tries to fly away, but Maul leaps after her, and his next blow sends her crashing into the ground. She avoids his thrust and tries sweeping his legs. However, this time the Night Brother is ready and leaps over the attack, slamming his fist against her chest. The air whooshes out of Bo-Katan as Maul holds his lightsaber against her chest. With a single thrust, he drives it into her heart. Sabine screams and tries to rush over. She activates her jetpack and fires her blaster, but Ventress leaps over her and slashes her jetpack, sending her crashing to the ground. When she tries to get up, the bounty hunter holds her lightsaber against her.
No funny business.
Maul takes his seat on the throne as the remaining Mandalorians bow before him. He raises his hand for silence.
To Bo-Katan, I show my strength. But to Sabine Wren, I show mercy.
You can keep your mercy.
Oh? After what you've done to your people, I think you would like to hear what I have to say. To ensure that this weapon will never be used against Mandalore, I command that Sabine and my captain will capture the prototype.
The prototype is on the Star Destroyer controlled by Tiber Saxon, the current governor of Mandalore. During the mission, a fleet of mercenary ships and Mandalorian fighters surround the Star Destroyer like a swarm of angry insects. This distracts them long enough for a ship carrying Ventress, Sabine, and a few fighters to board.
I see the walker, but the core is missing. They must be charging it somewhere.
The group moves through the corridors, cutting down any Imperial troops that cross their path. With Ventress at the lead, they face little resistance as she slices through most stormtroopers with ease. Those who don't fall by her hand are picked off with blaster fire. As resistance grows heavier, the troops break off to create a distraction in the hangar, leaving Sabine and Ventress to head towards the upper deck where the Duchess's reactor is stored. As they enter the room, they find Tiber Saxon flanked by his elite guards.
You think you can just walk in here and take it? You're more foolish than I thought.
Ventress ignites her lightsabers and charges. Sabine follows suit, her blasters blazing. The elite guards move to intercept. The first to reach Ventress are kicked aside before she reaches out and chokes two more with the Force. As the others fire on them, Ventress uses their bodies as shields and shoves them back. From behind, Sabine fires her blasters at the remaining guards. Tiber reaches for the reactor and hits its activator.
Let's see how well you fare against your own creation, Ren.
A wave of energy pulses from the reactor, targeting Sabine's armor. She cries out in pain, dropping to one knee as the energy shears through her. However, Ventress isn't wearing Beskar armor and remains unaffected. She smirks at Tiber, who points his blaster at her. He fires off a shot, but the Night Sister moves at blinding speed. In a second, she closes the distance between them and slashes his weapons apart. Tiber tries to activate his jetpack, but as the thrust begins to power up, Ventress kicks him and sends him slamming against the wall. His jetpack goes haywire and leaves him careening against the wall. He does manage to power his flamethrower and shoots gouts of flames at Ventress, who must roll aside to avoid the heat. Before he can regain control of his jetpack, Ventress extends her hand and crushes his flamethrower. She then pulls him close and runs him through with her lightsaber. She then deactivates the reactor, allowing Sabine to catch her breath. She reaches for the machine and adjusts its connection, so it targets Plastoid instead of Beskar. Once the Imperial troops surrounding them are down, she pulls out a thermal detonator and prepares to blow it up, but Ventress shakes her head.
My orders are to bring this back to Maul.
Come on. You can't possibly enjoy working for that guy.
I don't. But I have my reasons. Now we can do this the easy way, or the hard way.
Sabine looks down at the bomb in her hand. Then she sets it down and reaches for her blasters. The bounty hunter smirks and reaches for her lightsabers.
Go on. Try me.
Sabine's hands dip for her blasters, and when she whips them out, before she can aim them, Ventress sidesteps her shot, swinging her lightsaber as she does. Sabine's shot goes wide, but Ventress's attack lands, slicing neatly through Sabine's helmet. She spares her one sad look before calling for some men to pick up the reactor. The crew quickly departs, taking the Duchess and her power core back to the camp. There, Ezra and Kanan are waiting for them.
Where's Sabine?
She didn't make it.
No matter. Her sacrifice has given us the key to victory against the Empire. Rejoice, my people, for this shall be the beginning of the end for the Empire.
Across the camp, Mandalorians and mercenaries cheer, firing their blasters in the air. Not all are excited, though, as Kanan and Ezra, as well as the majority of Clan Ren, refuse to support Maul. To their surprise, the Sith Lord allows them to depart. Instead, his attention is on his new weapon, and the Mandalorians' best scientists begin to study it. Unfortunately, without Sabine, they do not know how to extend the range of the weapon or even reach its full potential. However, they do manage to recreate it and outfit it on various vehicles like walkers and starfighters. More importantly, they learn how to reconfigure the weapon so that it targets Imperial armor instead. Just in time, too, as shortly after, an Imperial fleet arrives. But this time, almost all the Mandalorian clans have joined Maul, leaving only parts of clans Ren and Kryz who oppose. Unfortunately for them, they are the main target of the initial Imperial assault. During the attack on Tiber's Star Destroyer, Maul made sure most of the attacking forces were from their clan to implicate them. The first bombers decimate most of their city and troops, while droids are deployed to hunt them down. This frightens the remaining clans to join Maul, as he is their only hope of survival. Soon after, the Imperials direct their attention to Maul and Sundari. The Sith warrior stands aboard his ship, surrounded by holodisplays of the ongoing battle. The sky fills with firefights as Mandalorians and their starfighters rise to engage the enemy fleet.
All fighters engage the enemy. Target their TIE fighters first. Use the Duchess weaponry. Leave no one standing.
The Mandalorian fighters, some equipped with the reconfigured Duchess weaponry, tighten up while their escort distracts most of their fighters. Energy pulses from their weapons slice through the air, targeting the unshielded TIE fighters, killing or incapacitating the pilots inside. The TIEs spiral out of control, crashing into the ground or exploding in midair. With their fighter support decimated, the Star Destroyers become vulnerable. Maul's ships, smaller but more agile, pick them off one by one, overwhelming the larger vessels. Since they cannot bomb Mandalore into submission, the Imperial Navy instead pulls back and sends in the ground troops instead. However, the stormtroopers meet with an equally grim fate, as when they approach the city, bolts of energy shoot out and incinerate ranks of them, allowing the Mandalorians and their mercenary allies to cut down the survivors. The only troopers who have any access are the Imperial security and probe droids, which can withstand the Duchess weaponry. They put up a better fight, and their numbers are seemingly endless. This time, the Mandalorians begin to struggle. In some places, the droids are concentrated and allow the Imperials to gain a foothold on the surface. Here, the droids can support Imperial gunships, with heavy repeating blasters laying waste to fields of Mandalorian and Crimson Dawn soldiers. Imperial security and probe droids advance steadily, starting to take territory even as other Imperial forces are pushed back. Maul soon sees this troubling development and orders Ventress to lead a counterattack to stable the front and hopefully reverse their gains. As Ventress arrives, she sees her soldiers in retreat from the phalanx droids. She alone refuses to retreat and raises her lightsabers as she weaves and spins between attacks. Although the droids are much stronger, she is faster and outmaneuvers them, giving her troops a chance to regroup and rally around her. Ventress has spent years commanding battle droids and has learned how they think. She gathers her troops and directs them towards the command center. The bounty hunter carves a path through the droids' ranks, her soldiers following with renewed vigor. Blasters and lightsabers flash through the chaos, the Mandalorians and Crimson Dawn fighters pushing back against the droid onslaught as fighters explode overhead. But with Ventress in command, they begin to regain ground. Near the landing zone, the Empire established a temporary command center to redirect the droids. If they destroyed it, that might cause enough chaos for the rest of the army to regain ground. However, while most of the Imperial techs and officers flee at the sight of her, one figure holds ground: Moff Gideon, flanked by his deadly Death Trooper droids. Without hesitation, Ventress lunges at Gideon, her lightsabers whirling. The Death Trooper droids move to intercept her, their blasters firing in unison. Ventress twists and turns, her blades deflecting the blaster bolts with practiced ease. She engages the Death Troopers in a fierce duel, their advanced programming making them formidable opponents. Ventress lunges at Gideon again, but Moff steps back and allows his Dark Troopers to handle her. They fire their blasters in unison, pushing Ventress on the defensive until she grabs one droid and uses it as a shield, and then slices it apart. The rest advance on her and begin to throw punches. She easily cuts through the first few, but more begin to surround her and mob her. Their punches are stronger than any human and send her reeling from the blows. As she stumbles back, the droids pick up their blasters and prepare to fire, but Ventress unleashes a powerful force shockwave that throws the Dark Troopers back, giving her a moment to catch her breath. Seizing the opportunity, Gideon leaps up and slams his electrostaff down and sends jolts of electricity across the ground, throwing Ventress back. He spins it around, letting the sparks fill the ground while Ventress tries to deflect it with her lightsaber. This forces Ventress to stay back and prevent her from closing in on him. As he prepares to swing his staff again, she uses the Force to hold it in place for a second, letting her rush him. At the last second, Gideon manages to redirect his swing and block her attack. Sparks fly and singe the ground as the two duel, whirling and trading blows. But the fight shifts once again as Ventress moves like a viper, striking out of nowhere and landing blows across Gideon, who struggles to defend himself. As he begins to falter, he glances back and smiles as his Dark Troopers begin to recover. He shifts his tactics, fighting defensively to stay alive long enough for them to regain their footing and attack her. One picks up a blaster and hits her forearm just as the rest of them surround her. Before they can pull the trigger, Maul's ship swoops in, blaster cannons raining fire on the command center. Ventress manages to dive out of the way, but the slow troopers are blown apart, leaving just Gideon standing. When he gets up, Ventress smirks at him with her lightsabers ready. The two rush at each other and trade a series of quick blows, but Ventress quickly gains the upper hand and snaps his electrostaff in half. With one final strike, she cuts Gideon down. The remaining droids fall into chaos without their command center, allowing the Mandalorians and Crimson Dawn fighters to regain initiative, and soon the rest of the Imperial forces are in full retreat. The soldiers all cheer as stormtroopers hurry back to their gunships, which fly off to rejoin their retreating Star Destroyers. Those who don't manage to escape are captured, becoming the only Imperial forces left on Mandalore. That's our theory. The Star Wars universe is a galaxy filled with exciting stories and possibilities, and we love exploring them. If you want to accompany us on this journey to a galaxy far, far away, then please like, share, and subscribe to our channel.